Good evening from Elche in España, Spain. I should just speak English and pronounce things in English so I avoid any criticism about my muy mala español pronunciation. Well, I'm on the rooftop of my apartment, not my apartment, but the apartment I live in. And I'm going to Poland tomorrow for the first time. I'm going to Krakow. Krakow. I don't know why, I just keep calling it Krakow. It amuses me, so maybe it will amuse you. Or not. This is a view. There's a little river down there. The width of a river, and you can't see the water because it's just a small channel in the centre of it. I will do this again during the day so you can see more. But really, while there's so much media attention about the novel coronavirus, which has been renamed to Covid-19 or something like that, I just thought I'd take the time to say there's not a massive threat in Spain. There's been 2 reported cases, 1 confirmed, and I think 1 was a mistake. One man in an island in the Gran Canarias, and another man in Mallorca. Mallorca was a bit more of a concern for me, not because I'm there, but because it's not that far away. And how did he get here? Maybe he got here going to Alicante Airport. I'm going to Alicante Airport tomorrow. So I've contemplated getting a face mask. I haven't got one. I'm going to take hand sanitizer, which I never use. I hate the shit. I'm not a precious hygienic person. I grew up on a farm, eating dirt, playing in dirt from a very young age, swimming in dirty, filthy, disgusting creeks and dams, you name it. I ate it and I swam in it and I had a ball, and so I don't worry about it. But this coronavirus is serious. It's serious. So regardless of whether there are a lot of cases in the country that I'm in now and the country that I'm going to, Poland, it's important to be cautious and aware. It's important to be aware because complacency breeds contempt. And so you just don't know. Because going to airports is the issue. It's not being in the countries, it's crossing paths with various different other people in airports, and I don't know where the fuck they've been or who they've been with. Because the guy that's in Mallorca, he has not been to China, Singapore, Hong Kong, nowhere near Wuhan, nowhere near it. He was in the Swiss Alps, and then with a group of people, and one of the guys that he was on a holiday with was in Singapore at a conference, and it transmitted in that way. So to all my my massive fan base of 21 subscribers who probably never really ever watch any of my videos, I just wanted to say, well, I hope I make it back. I'm sure I will. I've had enough sickness here this time, so yes. Yeah, I'm going to Poland. It'll be, I think, my 27th or 28th country. It depends on whether I can count the Vatican City as a country. Technically I can, because it has its own postcode and it has a border. Even though it's just a small little vicinity within Rome, technically it is its own entity. Likewise, Monaco. But I'm not sure if I can I want to count the number of countries that I've travelled to, if it's fair to count the ones where you haven't left the airport. I think that's a bit of a cheat. But I digress. It's just my conversation style. Those buildings there, I call them the Elche projects. Projects isn't an Australian English term. It is from American English. I don't know if they are the projects. In Australian English we would say housing commission, so public housing. Not if there's anything wrong with that. There is nothing absolutely wrong with it in the projects or housing commission. I don't own property. I am not critical of what people live in. I just call them the LG projects because it entertains me. And down here, where these lights are, and there's like a group of Spaniards, they just hang outside there, smoking and drinking and talking, of course, because for the Spanish, talking is a national sport. Which I like. I like talking, except I don't know enough Spanish to talk to them. And so I think that's why I'm doing a video and talking at 100 miles an hour, so I can speak fluent English. Back to Krakow. I'm going there to visit Auschwitz. I'm not going to say, I've always wanted to go. I haven't, but it is interesting, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to have the luxury of living in Europe. So I'm currently here till May, so I'm going to see and do things that are potentially once in a lifetime and very important. And Auschwitz will be very interesting indeed. I'm not a history buff either. Most definitely one of the things that I've really enjoyed about living in Spain is learning a lot more about European history. I have a lot of time on my hands, and often before I travel somewhere I'll do some research and read about it beforehand or on the plane at the airport when I'm there, and I probably forget that, but so it's still winter there in Poland. It's quite warm here in Elche, like 17 degrees, so back to some cold, probably the last trip I'll have in winter 2020, so I'll be able to pull out the winter boots and jacket. And I do find communist architecture interesting because it's so brutal and austere and lacking in creativity. So that will be interesting. And I'm going to techno, of course, because there's no fucking place in this town to go technoing. Not that I've found. And have I bothered to look? No, not really, because I've become quite bitter about the place for a number of different reasons. One of them being I wasn't paid my allowance / salary, it's really an allowance, for 9 weeks. Yeah, 9 weeks, no money in a foreign country, and the basic command of the language. That's probably a discussion for another video where I will talk in more detail about the program that I'm in, so I can, I guess, give people who are thinking of coming to Spain to do the Auxiliares de Conversacion program, which is a language teaching assistant. Give those people some more information about what to expect.